Hello everyone. If you want to improve your relationship, learn relationship hack or listen to entertaining and educating relationship stories, please subscribe, like, and share. Share your own story in the comments section below. Thank you. Comment what do you think about this situation. My wife of 12 years has been having an emotional and semi-sexual affair with another man. I have a wife of 10 years together for 12 years and we have 3 girls 6, 4 and 2. I am utterly devoted to my wife and family and have never strayed despite having 1 or 2 offers in the past. For the most part I am very happy in my marriage. Recently, my wife came home from work and told me that she wanted to separate. I quickly realized I'm very empathetic that there was more to it than that and asked her if she had, in fact, been at work today. She admitted that she hadn't and instead had been on a lunch date with another man. Apparently, it was a first date for them and he rejected her at the end of it. She was too short apparently. However, they had been having a long-distance relationship for some months, including talking about very personal details about me and our relationship, and had regular phone sex, etc. She admitted that it was her that initially approached him. So, although technically, there was no physical affair, there was a full-on emotional affair with an added sexual element. Anyway, she now wants to work on our relationship marriage and I really want to as well. However, trust is destroyed or at least severely damaged. I'm not convinced that she would have told me about the affair had I not asked those very direct questions. Also, sadly, I now find myself with nagging doubt about whether I'm the father of my youngest daughter too, as it was always a running joke between us that we couldn't quite understand how we conceived her at the time. Without going into another long story, we hadn't really had sex around the time that she was conceived. Any advice on how to restore the trust between us, please? I'll put it like this. You cannot be anyone's backup plan. She's had an EA and a digital affair and it didn't work out, so she wants to work it out. Spare me. Lawyer. DNA. STD. And if possible, exposure. Then let the chips fall where they fall. Best luck. Had she been taller, she'd be staying back at work later a lot more. Exactly. That statement explains why she answered his question honestly. So, she played it out with the other guy and she lost there. So she wants to give it a try now? I wouldn't give her the time of day. Not only that, but he has to work on speed because she got rejected? Hi OP. I'm very sorry for what you are passing through. If you don't mind, let me say that. 1. I believe that you should consider DNA testing all the 3 daughters. 2. Also, you should consider not reconcile with her. She now has his head out of marriage. And she only is not out yet. Because the OM didn't go ahead. So, you should assume that divorce will be happen in the next near future. Do you think that you want to suffer 1 meter, 2 meters, 6 meters, 1Y or 2Y with all the stress that a reconciliation brings? For after that you face the divorce after all. Praying for you. Be strong. That part where you said that divorce is in her mind. That is very true. She is just waiting for something better and was really to drop you at the drop of a hat. It's better you open your eyes and see that this woman will leave you. Too short. Okay. First time for that one. More like they met for lunch. Got a hotel and he got what he wanted and dumped her right there. And you went from starting pitcher to permanent second base. Or more likely they have been having sex for quite some time and he dumped her. That sounds like the truth, alright. And yeah, that too short thing is such nonsense. No guy can possibly believe another guy would dump a girl over that. If it were a girl dumping a guy, maybe. Which makes sense. Because she's the one who made the lie. Whose name is the phone plan under? Based on what you are saying, she has been involved several months. What makes you believe it was the first time they met up? If I had to guess, the AP so found out, so he has to cut ties with your wife if the guilt has got to him. Do a deep dive on the text. You can retrieve deleted messages. Easy enough to do, or you can take it to her shop. If she wants to work on your marriage, find out who the AP is and have her call his so. You will find out her feels real fast. DNA test your kids like yesterday. This is an absolute must. Then when the results come back, assess from there. She tell you she wants to separate and then work on your marriage. Sorry, this two things for me don't get together. Fist DNA test all your kids. Do a STD test. Take a break and feel about what you truly want after doing all these tests. You don't have to trust your wife in what she says. Verify everything. Tell her you want to do a polygraph to find out if they reached physical yet. But do the DNA test. It's a must. This require a polygraph for there to be reconciliation. She will spill the trickle truth to you more. Admit to one time, then 5, then years. Make her go anyway, or at least pretend you're going to, and record her confessions. Do not have any conversations about the infidelity without telling her you're making a record if you can. You may inform her the conversation is being recorded for your own review prior to cover your ass legally if your state has laws against it. This is mostly so you can get her to admit what you already know in a setting that lets you review her choice of words and parse through it. It's pretty evident you don't believe that is the extent of her betrayal, even if you're willing to. So this is a chance. Undefined. Additionally, if she were the full-on BPD NPD type of cheater who could lie to her polygraph by gaslighting herself, she'd be lying to him too. Not opting for trickle truth. They simply lie to you, themselves, and the polygraph because they can quite literally disconnect from their reality. Someone who can do that would have admitted nothing. I'd advise against a polygraph. They're expensive, very unreliable, and someone who has no remorse about lying or deception is easily going to beat the machine. A lot of the polygraph's effectiveness is in watching their reaction to being asked. Also, many people have gotten parking lot confessions. If your spouse believes that polygraphs work, and that if they fail then you are done, they tend to confess some more trickle truths just before going in. I, myself, got a confession just before going in. I believe they work, but not exactly as intended. It's just another tool in the tool bag. That's what they are good for. A scare tactic. As a science, they are bogus. While good liars can beat them, those with anxiety, self-esteem issues, and moral rigidity issues can spike with false positives. Imagine you love your spouse, but for some reason, they are accusing you of cheating even though you didn't. The polygrapher may ask at any time, have you been unfaithful to your spouse? You know that you've never engaged in any kind of affair. But then you start thinking, but wait. What about if I've looked at porn? What if I saw someone attractive and, for a brief moment, imagined them naked? Does that count? What if one time I felt myself attracted to a platonic friend even though I never acted on it? Your body starts panicking and so your physiological reaction starts to show. Boom. The examiner marks deception indicated. Or, it could be anxiety simply from worrying about false accusations. I've never been unfaithful. But if the polygrapher thinks I am, my marriage is over and everyone is going to think I'm a cheat. And your body reacts. So one should be careful in utilizing them. Many marriages have been wrongfully ended. Many jobs have been wrongfully denied. And many suspects in crimes have the investigation wrongfully focused on them due to false results in polygraphs. There are much better ways to get confessions. You need a lot more info. This sub is full of betrayed people who uncovered much more than they originally expected. These are good starting articles on common mistakes early during discovery. I'm sorry. This is not a club anyone seeks to join. Stay engaged. There are good people here who can help. 1. Lawyer. 2. STD test. 3. Paternity tests plural. 4. Independent counseling. She chose this other man and he rejected her. And now she wants you back. For now. You need to know how deep and far this goes before you can make any decisions. Based on what you said about your youngest, I suggest steps 1-4 and NC before even considering any kind of reconciliation. I don't think you know, but the barest smidge of the truth yet. She's been seeking men out to have affairs and you have potential reason to believe this might not be the first time. You shouldn't even be asking how to restore trust yet. You should be asking, do I know the whole truth yet, and if not, why not? And what steps can I take starting with 1-4 to get there? I think it's BS that she only met the guy at lunch and he rejected her. She came saying she wanted a separation and after coming clean now she wants to stay together? On the same day? Come on. Nope. This is fishy. Start by doing the paternity test for all your kids. Then STD test. Then go to a lawyer to know your options. Then ask for full disclosure. Phone records and see her texts with this man. Because what she said is 100% a lie. This is what I was thinking too. The too short reason is absurd. Adults usually don't talk for months, have phone sex, and meet up without some form of physicality happening. It's not impossible, but I would think about that whole scenario a little more. Please get a paternity test, but not just for your 2-year-old but all of your children. Wish you all the best. So she was the one who wanted to cheat purposely. She went after him. And it just don't go further. Because he dumped her. But she definitely had the intention to cheat. Sorry, man. But you know that she's only want to reconcile with you because the AP rejected her. She chose to betray you, knowing that this would hurt your feelings deeply. And she knew that her terrible behavior would destroy her own family. And she didn't care. She had the intention to cheat. And made an effort to it. And if was not the other guy dumping her, she would never be wanting to come back with you. She's not retarded. So she knew exactly what she wanted to do. There was no mistake. But a very well planned choice. And it's the real problem here. And about your youngest. You better have a DNA test to make sure. And if you weren't having sex in the time that she was conceived, then you know that it's almost impossible that she's your bio daughter. Are you sure that in the time that your youngest was conceived, you wasn't having sex with your wife? Not even once in that time? You never suspected about that at the time? This is a giant red flag. Your wife really made a violent effort to destroy your family. And to me, this is unforgiven. Sorry, man. But she's not worthy at all.